Right, good afternoon, everybody's ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see if we can get this thing out. Let me just make sure everything's going. I got too many tabs and different browsers popped up. All right, what is up? So we're going to take a look at the Forex pairs this evening. We're going to see if we can find some action for the week to come. Last week we had a very nice move in the Aussie yen, and I took a trade in pound USD to the short side, but Friday you can see real big strong bullish day coming out of this area of support down here on Friday. So we're going to see if this bullish push wants to give us a little bit more price action to the upside. I got a current daily level that I'm going to be watching at 1.39.489, which is this level right here, just to see if it wants to pop up there and see if that area wants to hold as resistance, as we are in a longer term uptrend. But the price action seems to me like it's trying to roll over. If you go look at your quarterly chart, you just started a new quarter, so there's this quarter, but when I took that short trade, I was aiming at the quarterly low. So I took profits at the quarterly low on this target, and you can see that Friday it's basically just bounced straight back up to the upside. I seem to be dropping a ton of frames. I think this thing will get situated here directly. If it doesn't, I will just re-upload a new link. It'll be quick and simple. So we're checking to see if the pound USD wants to go back up and check that quarterly level. So let's mark that back as our quarterly level, because that is going to offer a quarterly resistance. That is not what I was trying to do. Let me get it over here. There we go. Right there. That oh so sweet price at 1.4152, and that's very close to the 140 big fig. The big figures do offer up sometimes resistance and or support in the Forex markets. So you can see it doesn't like to close quarterly candles above 140 since it dropped out of the area all the way back in 2016 into 2000. And well, at the end, it was still in 2016 before you got a bullish push, set in this resistance level and then traded lower. If you notice, you did get a quarterly close below this bearish candle right there. It was a very slight and subtle closure, but nonetheless it was a closure. Then you had a big strong quarter pushing out of the area. Boom, this was the capitulation wick low in 2020, and then ever since it's just been going straight up without really any pullbacks to speak of. In this zone or this area of price, you can see the last two quarters you've tried to get above it. You've tried to close above it, but you've been unable to do so. So we will be keeping an eye on that level. It is extremely important, and that's where it puts you right up there. So basically you can see how that held price there on this breakout on the NFP that happened on May 7th, 2021. That gave us the bullish price action that we needed to get above that quarterly level. We came back in for a retest of it and then caught bullish price action and essentially traded sideways, all right, from May 19th all the way until we started to take out this support level down here. When you had that happen, you just had a nice big push to the downside, came up, and you set a new low. So is this another selling opportunity on the pound USD? We will absolutely keep that level in mind, as well as that daily supply zone directly above us at 139.489. So let's see what happens. Obviously, we just got the open 11 minutes ago, so that's your daily range so far. Nothing drastic on the open, just a slight. Okay, this is Forex.com. That's why there's a gap. Let's go over here, because I don't like gaps in FX. So you can see on Oanda that gap is taken care of. So there's nothing to do right now. You still have a 15 pip spread. So if you try to take a long or a short, you're going to be filled 15 pips away from current price to both sides. Excuse me. All right, Aussie yen. Another fantastic trade last week. We caught this on this push up right here. We got filled almost at the exact tip top. It was a fantastic trade. come down, made a massive low, and then Friday you had essentially a dead cat bounce. But we are going to give it some time to let it close up some of this untested price action. We have a little bit right here between this wick low and that wick high right there. But if you mark that on your chart, that's your daily wick low. Here's your daily wick high on Friday. If you go into smaller time frame charts, you can look to see if that area was retested. If not, then you can possibly look for this area of price to either break out above it or catch it as resistance. The closer you get down into your time frames, like this is a 4 hour, you will see that you do have 4 hour support directly above it. So maybe a wick through the level and then a drop back below. Maybe that would be a good enough indication that the Aussie yen is probably going to have a little bit of continuation to the downside. I am looking for it, as this is a pretty nice expansion in the range. So you were basically on Aussie yen not doing anything, coming from the Australia weakness, and then basically you got there the same thing as an FOMC report, and then you seen a push up in price. This was to get everybody bullish. It also caught me off guard. Did not get a long entry off as an hourly close below a level that I was watching, and then you just traded straight down. So we got short on that push up. So is this happening the same way? Big push down, or are you looking for shorts if you do find rejection at these areas? 82,546, 82,650. Let's go into an hourly and see if that level of price was retested, and it was not. There is a nice little area of price that has a hole in it. So I am not looking for shorts. Here's the 15-minute chart. And it gets a little bit tighter on the 15-minute. You can see that wick right there basically caught it. This wick. You see that push down, then you got your closes, came in. This push up tested almost perfectly to the wick, leaving just a very small, tight area. So we're going to watch it. All right, we're going to watch it. I'm not expecting price to find resistance there exactly. Maybe on a bigger time frame, it finds a level like a 4 hour close, for instance. So a wick up to that 4 hour close. As long as you see rejections, this trade will be looked at tomorrow morning, not tonight. I don't like to take entries in the Asian Open, and I definitely don't like to take entries on the week open, because generally it's just getting started. You might have a little bit of continuation from Thursday and Friday's price action, but we shall see. Also, I noticed something earlier today. Aussie Swiss had a lot bigger of a pronounced move to the downside, taking out daily support right here on a closure. It's the last daily close. All right, so you have to use it. This is what you got. So you can look for a push back up to take out some of this as a retest. And then at that point, if it finds support or resistance, around 69004, that might be a good spot to start looking for rejection if it's going to occur. Like I said, guys, we're not waiting for this to happen and then immediately drop into a short position. We will want to see some kind of reaction showing us that we are not the only ones looking to short that level. Okay, because price likes to go and get people's stops. That's basically all it does. Every now and then you will get fantastic trends like this, but when it's chopping around sideways, it generally just takes out highs and lows, screwing everybody up, not giving them an exact direction. This was a fantastic trend to the upside. It basically went a lot higher than I thought it would, right? But Aussie yen is a risk off pair. Once people started to buy the S&P 500 in this big crash dip that we had last year, the S&P 500 went on to make new all-time highs from that area, whereas the Aussie yen, you can see it found basic resistance at a level untold, because I don't have it on the chart, but it's probably going to be close to or around this daily bullish candle. Let's go see if it is. All right, let's get over here, back to here, and would you look at that? So yeah, that's pretty much where it found resistance at. What is up, chat? So glad you could make it here today. Hopefully my internet will grab a hold of a strong signal and we will be able to continue this stream. So what is up, everybody? Thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much for donating your precious and most valuable time. All right, so that's basically Aussie yen and Aussie Swiss in a nutshell. Aussie New Zealand was something that I was watching last week. The problem with any New Zealand trading, if you're trading against any asset versus New Zealand dollar, you're going to get a lot of wicks. Crazy wicks, as New Zealand has less liquidity in it than, say, euro or pound. You get really crazy wicky price action, and a lot of times very choppy. And if you look, though, the Aussie yen, or the Aussie Kiwi, has been making nice trending moves. So they've been jig-jagging back and forth. So you haven't been trending, but you do get, these spots of price where you get a few days of continuation before price tries to screw you up, so to speak. Basically, you came into this area down here, not quite. So we're looking to see if we get a hold here. All right, today has already opened, and you can see the move that you've already had on the Aussie New Zealand. Look at this. This happened during the open. Boom, there it was. 10 pip spread still, not looking for anything. So we're going to see if this level holds. All right, I don't trust the Asian session moves. If this thing starts to move lower, that pretty much tells me that you may see a bounce around the London Open into the New York Open. It doesn't always happen like that. Sometimes these markets will open up in a direction and just keep going, but it's very rare that ever happens in the FX market. You would have had to have some kind of major catastrophic news to force something like that. And like I said, this is going to be based solely on New Zealand price action. Because if you go look at Aussie yen, you opened green just a little bit. Aussie Swiss, you opened green just a little bit. Aussie dollar, where are you? There you are. You opened green just a little bit. So that movement is coming from the Kiwi. Here is your Kiwi move. If you got short here Friday at close to the close, around 2 or 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this push up has stopped you out. Here is your spread on the New Zealand Japanese yen. It is 20 pips. So that would be 20 pips from the wick high. So if you take your wick high and move up roughly 20 pips, 22 pips there, that's how far your stop would have had to be away in order not to get stopped out. And the same goes for the downside. So basically this push right here was just to stop out short sellers. So you're probably going to see a little bit of short side continuation for the next hour or two. There is no bearish hourly candle until you get all the way down to here, 76,403. So will it find support there? We don't know. We only wait on price to show us what it's doing. Friday was a big pronounced move. That's why you can't find any levels intraday, because it was very bullish. So here's your 30-minute chart. There are a couple bearish candles in this. So you can watch those levels if you are looking for entries in the Asian session. You may not get all the way down to it, but here, that's one spot you would start to look for right now, or here in a minute, 76,912, see if that area catches support, as one of these areas are more likely to do so if it's going to turn around and head back to the upside. This was not a very big test from that big move down, so we're kind of looking for it to push up maybe a little bit higher before it finds resistance. But if you look on the 4-hour chart, you see this bearish push here. That should have offered up some kind of support when price traded back into it. There was a test, and then boom, you left the area. On this attempt to come back down, you can see this 4-hour candle here did push into the level, but did not get an absolute touch. Then you had a small bounce, and then boom, there's your range expansion move to slice through that area. So it's only natural that you're coming back in there to retest and gather up any leftover orders that were not filled on Friday. All right, so that's the New Zealand yen. Let's go on over to my two favorites, Euro USD and Pound USD. I absolutely love trading these assets. They're my favorite two trades to watch. Nice big push to the downside, taking out supports, took out support, made new support. Then you got a big, strong bullish reaction down here. Why did we get a big, strong bullish reaction down there? Well, let's go take a small little gander. Looks like there was a level at one spot, 17774. That was front ran. But if you look at the wick of that bearish candle, you can see you did trade into the wick. So they front ran the level. This is a daily. They front ran the daily level by putting orders setting right at the wick. Buy limits. Also, anybody who was short here had take profit sell limits setting there. This is why you get bounces when you come into crucial areas, because traders are taking decisions based on what they see in the charts. This is why I'm also only a price action trader. I do not generally care about fundamentals or news, because I think the market's entire sole goal is to hurt the most people as possible. And I think that's what it does. So Euro USD, we go over here to the quarterly chart. That's the 3-day. We want the quarterly, so you can see what's been transpiring since the beginning of the year. All right, here's your yearly open. You opened way up here in this trend. So you had basically 3 quarters of trend straight up, came into quarterly resistance. We're going to get rid of all that nonsense there. Quarterly resistance. There was your check of quarterly resistance at the yearly open. And then you had a pretty much one-sided move for the rest of the quarter, going straight down. Came into this quarterly open, and that is where price found support. Yes, it is a bullish candle, but when you get on the bigger time frames like quarterlies and monthlies, generally it doesn't matter if it's a bearish or a bullish candle. The opening price and the closing price of your recent months or quarters, just that price alone will act as an area of possible support or resistance, because that is the monthly opening range. All right, and these candles, that's all they do, is they show us a range of current price action for the specific time period. So here was a test of quarterly resistance, immediately a one-sided move straight to the downside, and then last quarter we had a bullish push back up into resistance. Now, to the untrained eye, aka new traders, this will look like a ton of selling pressure. This candle closed green. It is a quarterly. It did open down here, so it could have closed red. It didn't. That is a data point. We know this candle is bullish. The close is bullish. Yes, it had a big push to the upside, and we retraced pretty much most of the range, but this is still not necessarily selling pressure. It could simply be a pullback, and that could simply be a target, and I will keep you on the know. If we keep pushing higher, we will be looking for long side entries on the Euro USD, and we will be targeting that quarterly resistance. And that can make for a fantastic trade if we are able to get in it. Now, if it wants to continue down, because remember, this big bearish range expansion to the downside was on the FOMC day that I did the live stream. This is from that. This is price action from that. So you have 3 days, then you settled, traded up a little bit, came down, made a new low. Are we going to trade up and retest this price action? There's a pretty good chance. In my opinion, there's a pretty good chance. This asset is longer term bullish to now sideways. So once you broke this structure here, you've basically been sideways. This is those 3 quarterly candles. All this price action is those 3 quarterly candles right here. There they are. See? That's what we're looking at. On a smaller time frame, you're just looking at quarterly mumbo jumbo choppy price action. This is your quarterly range set right there. Boom, boom. So we kind of need a breakdown or a break above before we're going to have a real good idea as to where that's going to go. Am I going to let this thing trade all the way back up to 123, 237 without getting an entry? Absolutely not. Am I going to let this thing trade all the way down here before I look for entries? Absolutely not. This is the beauty of being an intraday scalper. I can take trades every day if the market sets up for it. Right here is 4-hour resistance. You did get a closure above it last Friday. Let's go look at 8-hour resistance. There's 8-hour resistance. You did get a close above it Friday. All right, there's 8-hour resistance. Where's daily? Daily is here. Did you get a close above daily resistance? Yes, you did. Can this be a bull trap? Yes, it can. So tomorrow's closure will let us know. If this candle pushes all the way down into this area, I'm not going to look for short side setups and call this a bull trap just yet, because there's a daily Heath level down there. The problem is it's already been retested. Can it be retested again? Yes, it absolutely can. So I may not take any entries on it until it gets out of this small range, okay? But those were two pretty strong bullish days, and you did get a close above resistance, and that's important data. That's what we use to make our trading decisions. Where is the next level of resistance if we start to get bullish price action? It's going to be 1.19266. So there are stops sitting above this wick high. Those can be targets for possibly tomorrow. If we rest in this area or come down to Thursday's open and start to retrace or back away from that area, that then can give us targets to take this out and then possibly look for this to be tested. If you do get this test, if this thing does trade higher, you will get a test of that. All right, it's very unlikely that it just goes up, takes out this liquidity, and then goes back to the downside, because there's a lot of price action. This is a big range that hasn't been retested. It doesn't mean it has to be either. All right, everything works in the market, just not all the time, and we know that for a fact as well. So we try to take all the stuff that we know for a fact and put that into a situation where we can make some trading decisions based upon it. We get some price action up into here. I will be looking for higher prices, at least up to this bearish close at 127.17. All right, why this one and not this one? Well, there's no reason. You can watch that one too if you want. This really as simple as that. This level wasn't tested either. It was on this daily right there. So, I mean, it was tested once. If I put a level there, you can see it. So when you got your break below, you came back up in it, tested it, and you left. So if you get up in there, you're probably going to breach that. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. But that's what I'm looking for. Right now, I'm going to let the next day or so show me what it wants to do. This is a pretty big move, so we can see some choppy price action for the next week or two. And that's going to be the same on all yen assets, anything trading against the Japanese yen, and anything trading against the Swiss franc. Because both of those assets had the biggest move last week. The New Zealand Swiss franc had a 2% move in Forex. A 2% move is a massive, massive move. Usually if you get a 0.4% move in FX, you've had a nice day, especially if you were on the right side of that trade. Here's the DXY. DXY is trading up into this area right there. There was a small gap. That gap got filled, and then you instantly seen selling coming back into the markets. On Friday, you did get a closure below daily support. That daily support was tested on Thursday, right? Let's get it on the right candle right there. So Thursday, you had this push lower, found support, but it was just a small bounce. This run up was into the Heath level right there, your supply zone. That was the perfect entry. There is your range expansion to the downside. So now you are going to wait and let this thing find support or resistance. First area of resistance to look for would be 92.238. This level right here. All right. If you get a failure there, you can probably look for lower prices on the dollar all the way down to this bullish candle right there, 91.881. So a rejection here. Next expansion of range would probably come down here. If you get back above this level on a daily closing basis, this could simply be a bear trap, and you may be looking for higher prices on the DXY. I can't see any reason why anybody would want to get long dollar right now. The S&P 500 is making brand new all-time highs, or it did Friday. I should say that. Here it is. There's Friday's price action. Big, strong day. Had a bearish engulfing, almost bearish engulfing on Thursday. Came down, took out bearish support. Friday, right back up in your face. So this thing looks like it's trying to play games. Be very careful, especially if you're looking for new longs on this asset, as it is just a little bit extended to the upside. Just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit, right? Since the March sell-off, you have went straight up, basically getting one-to-one move higher off of this price leg here. Once you traded up into those highs, you went the same distance higher. All right, so it's very extended. You can see that you are putting in bearish divergence if you look at that thing. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't be too concerned about that. As long as you're trading above the 50 spot, you're still in bullish control zone. That means the bulls are in firm control of the asset. There's no reason to short a locomotive. If it is moving full steam ahead in one direction, there is no sense nor any reason to try to call the top. Yes, it would look fantastically beautiful if you were able to do so, but you're probably going to take many losses before you actually finally do get the top. This is why people tell you try not to do that. We've all been there before. We've all done everything, so we basically know what new traders are going to fall prone to doing. USD JPY fell off. There was a trend line right there. We were looking for that to hold some kind of support. It did not. Traded back up into it Friday, and you are still checking it now to see if price is going to be able to get back above it. You are just that breakdown on Friday puts you back below the 50 on the USD Japanese yen. So if you are unable to get daily closures up, probably I would say above this wick high, well, let's just leave the trend line there. These levels are garbage. This one, I like that one, and I like this one. All right, so these are the three things that I'll be watching for the next couple days. If you get a daily push, I would say you would probably have to get all the way up to 110.545 to bring this back up out of that 50 spot. Then what you want to see is you want to see bullish continuation, not a lot, just a little. Then you can look to buy pullbacks if that does indeed happen. If this fails here and you start getting more pushes down, breaking below this level, especially 109.638, we will be looking for retest entries for short side setups, targeting the next area of support, which would be down here around 109.252, and then down here at 108.751. So lowest bearish closes will offer up support, or at least targets where we want to be exiting 2/3 of our position, so that way we can get the risk out of the market, because that's what trading is about. It's not about making money, it's about protecting money. Capital preservation is the name of the game. US oil, big move last week. I believe that this move is the reason why Aussie yen fell off, as oil is tied to Aussie, not nearly as much as it is tied to CAD, but this big bearish push down, you can say it basically happened on the same time the Aussie yen trade happened. So that may be what caused that little bit of bearishness. As you can see on this asset, you are clearly still bullish. That push lower did take out support. That red candle support was taken out, but you did find support here. You have already, or are attempting to, take out the high of this bearish candle. A daily close above that would essentially say, yeah, this was just a pullback. That level is supply, 75.10. Daily closure above it, or I'll even go as far as to say an 8-hour closure above it, as it coincides nicely right on the 8-hour as well. You're not looking for shorts, all right? This thing is still bullish, very bullish. If you get a rejection there, then we can talk about trading short side setups, looking for 71.95. This bearish candle there. That would be the target. This one would be first, but if you fail here, you're probably going to get a pretty nice range expansion to the downside, blasting right through that level. You may get a small bounce, but watch that one first, I guess, is all I'm trying to say. 71.96 will be my target on oil to the downside if it fails to get an 8-hour closure above 75.10. 75.10. USD CAD, big move off these lows. This is what accumulation looks like. Took many weeks of just going sideways. Boom, explosive move out of there. People were looking for short side setups on it, as they were thinking, hey, this thing is in a downtrend. Let's get it to go lower. Normally, I would agree with that. However, this is a rounded bottom. All right. This indicates that this was buying pressure, and it absolutely was. Look at the fiercity that it left this area. Just straight up. Boom. For 4 days. So, yeah, that's generally not bearish. Then you got a pullback into support, found lower or higher low support, and then you took out this high. You did get a bearish move on Friday, but you're just essentially testing this area right here, 121.24. Let's get a level on that. That will be the level to watch. Daily break below. Then we can look for a retest of this bullish candle to look and see if we get short side setups off of that. If you do not break down, you are looking higher. Big area of resistance right here on USD CAD. 126.336. Whole lot of attempts to get above that in this section of price, was unable to do so. You can see this is traditionally what happens. You get a lot of people build up short sentiment right here because candlesticks are building sentiment. That's their job. They're to make you think one thing when another is actually happening. It's called sleight of hand. Here is your liquidity setting right above that wick high. That's where everybody had their stops. You can see clearly you traded right up in there, stopped everybody out, and then went in the direction everybody knew or thought it was going to go. So a lot of stuff right here. I am expecting that to hold as resistance on at least the first push up. And it may offer even a tradable bounce. We will see. So right now it looks like it wants to continue with bullishness to the upside. You're trading well above your 50 spot on your RSI. Let's go look at what our major moving averages are saying. That is the moon phases. That is not the moving averages. There is your major moving averages. You can see that you are trying to get some bullish momentum. The 21 is crossed back above the 50. It's looking for the 100 next. Your 200 is setting right above price. This is why I'm saying you are maybe going to see some rejection up here if price does indeed trade up there. Nice big fat level of resistance right there. 200 average right above it. Also, it's in a downtrend. So we shall see, right? That's going to be a big level on the USD CAD. The USD CAD was shorted into nothingness once we had that liquidity crisis, right? Big run up, and then boom, straight down. That was a fantastic position that I did not get in. To be honest with you, we were all shocked to see this massive move that happened. It's not my computer lagging. I just figured out today it's this mouse. I do not know what's causing it to do that. All right, and that's pretty much it. Let's go look at gold real quick, as I do know there are some gold bugs in the house. Here is your 8-hour time frame. There is your 8-hour Heath level, aka supply zone. You can see that there has been multiple attempts to get above that, but unable to do so. Now, this is the thing. Is this a rejection? Like, it is trying to reject from here, but as long as your support is intact, where is your lowest close? Right there, 1797 spot 21. As long as that is intact, meaning you do not have a daily closure below that level, and it's trading up here and closing up here, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to see a break, at least a breakout to pop any stops that are setting above there. Here is going to be 8-hour resistance as well, and then obviously that wick will be a target if you do see continued bullish price action up through there. If you do get a daily close below support, then you will have broke down, and this will look like it's trying to continue with this small near-term downtrend that we are seeing. You see what's going on? Because YouTube keeps telling me that my stream isn't producing enough. So we will see what you guys have to say. Oh, and silver. I can't do gold without doing silver now, can I? XAG USD. Oh, and to clear up any gaps. So silver doesn't look as good as gold, right? Silver traded up, found resistance here. It was an hourly level. And then you had this as a rejection candle. This is what you want to see when it trades up into a level. So this is the retest that I'm talking about. Here's your rejection candle. Nice big bearish expansion to the downside. You didn't get all the way up into the level we were watching for short side setups, but if you look at the bullish candle and the bullish candle's wick, that's where you tested. The market said that was a good enough test, right? Technical analysis doesn't always work. Exactly. I would have taken that as a short position with this knowledge in a downtrend. Beautiful rejection, traded back up into a level that I always look for, right? And you got a nice trade to the downside. So far, you put in a new support, and Friday you did get an 8-hour close above small area of resistance. Just that candle alone is not enough to constitute resistance. Not yet. This candle up here did. All right, this is an old level. Let's get it over here. So this is what you're struggling with. Multiple wicks. Let's see if you get a break above it. This will be the next area to look for another test. 26.48. That's going to be possibly resistance on the first attempt. If you start trading and closing close to it, or at least above this 8-hour bullish close, you can look for that to possibly be busted. Because you did get a reversal or a rejection up here, but you still haven't taken out massive support below you. So this can in fact be a higher low. But this high would have to be taken out for us to know for sure that's what's going on. So since we don't know for sure what's going on, keep the near-term trend in mind when looking to take entries. If you're just a gold bug and a silver bug hodler, like you just buy it because it's worth something and you think it's going to be worth more, is this a good spot to buy? Yeah, possibly. Possibly. I mean, it's been choppy and sideways for a very, very long time. Since last year. All right? August 7th. That August 7th high. And it's been doing nothing since. Straight sideways. What is up, traders? Let's see if anybody's got any questions for me today. Hello, have a good day, everyone. You do the same. Looks like Wyckoff distribution. On which asset? Please like as thank you, and so other people can join the family. Take care. Thank you, Alan C. Yes, if you guys don't mind, smash that like button. Smash it. Well, smash it if you want to smash it, obviously. I ain't going to make you guys smash the like button. As far as I'm okay with what's going on, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm ready to have a big channel. I'm not really the best YouTuber guy out there, that's for sure. But thank you for the likes. What's up, Heath? Could you look at coin on the NAS? Let's go look at coin on the NAS. This is Coinbase, and it did just IPO not too long ago. Now, when this thing, when this thing IPO'd, I said that it IPO'd very, very far above its IPO price. It was supposed to IPO around $250. So when we opened at 380 and then started trading higher, it was extremely suspect to me. You're trading almost, well, you were trading almost $200 ahead, above where you were supposed to, right? $400, supposed to open at 250, 420. So you almost 2x'd from where it was supposed to open. This means there was a lot of run up of buying going on for insiders. They were buying before the IPO. IPO happens, you get a little push up to bring in FOMOers, and then you dump your position. And I specifically said on that video, I would be watching to see what price does around $250, as that was supposed to be the IPO price. So in this section of price right here, you can see that you did have a gap. Thank you, baby. You can see that you did have a gap down. That gap has been filled, and it created resistance. Right there's your resistance upon gap fillage in the village. Now you're trading back up to it, or you did Friday. So here is support. This is just your weekly, last week's range of price. This is your support. That is your resistance. It looks to me like it wants to break resistance. This is a fantastic double bottom. Double bottoms do tend to work out in stocks as your general mom and pop shops, people that do have money under under advisement, but they're not like a big shop. They do trade those patterns and trend lines and moving averages. So sometimes your basic standard technical analysis does work out because it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And it's right around the price where it was supposed to come out at. So in most people's eyes, that looks like a good investment, right? It was valued at about 250 bucks per share, traded way down below 250 bucks per share, had what looks like consolidation and or possibly accumulation, got a bounce out of the area, filled the gap, came in, put in a higher low. As soon as you take out this daily high, you have a higher low and a higher high. All right, and that is a possible trend reversal. It's the very beginnings of one. Let's just say that. So is this a good spot for buying it? That will be basically determined on how much money are you doing it with, how much of a percentage of your total accounts portfolio is invested in it, how far is your stop, all that nonsense. I wouldn't risk no more than 2% of your total portfolio to enter this as a long position, but if you're looking at it at a long term, then yeah, you may get a bounce out of here. The fact that Bitcoin's going down, is that going to have an effect on Coinbase's market cap? I don't know. I mean, it seems like with math it should, right? It depends on how many Bitcoin Coinbase absolutely owns. So yes, it can affect the market cap and it can affect where this thing goes. However, we know that 250 bucks was where it was supposed to open. So just by that matter of fact alone, then you could say it probably is a decent investment. All right. If you get below this bullish candle or this bearish candle, sorry, because this is your lowest bearish close. That level is 220 spot 66. You get a daily candle below that level, this thing is going lower. All right. It's going lower. So, but this looks good. It looks like you are trading out of there. It looks like it's going to get broke. Maybe 270, maybe 280 in the next couple weeks. I had to top off my drink. So hopefully that helps, K4 Liberty. Like I said, man, I bought a couple. You know what I mean? I bought a couple. But it's just to hold on to it for see what happens. It's just one of those things. Good day, and thanks for your explanations and insights as always. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Bitcoin is pumping. Let's go look. Oh my gosh, Bitcoin is pumping. Thank goodness for Bitcoin pumpage. I was on the right watch list. You got me all emotional when you said Bitcoin is pumping. Yeah, I mean, not really. Kind of. There's your daily range. Looks like about the same size as this daily range. It is moving higher. There is daily. Oh, I know why. It's the weekly close, bro. The weekly close. You got 2 hours. If you watched yesterday's live stream, I believe it was, I said more than likely when it gets close to the close, you will see some price action. Because generally, I would say Bitcoin's trying to get a closure back above this level right there, 34,659, as that is your near-term support right there. This is the weekly support that everybody's got their eyes on. This is your yearly open. This is your yearly low. You can see that we did test the yearly open on this push lower, and that was a scary time indeed for Bitcoin bulls. So you are just essentially getting that price action right next to the close to see if you can get a closure above. So keep watching it. Nice little hourly push. Also came in at the FX open. It's funny how stuff like that works. Yeah, you're getting an influx of volume coming in because the FX market just opened and it is close to the weekly close. 34,709 is a daily or weekly resistance support. It was support. We will see if it wants to be resistance. Let's go look at what Algorand is doing. It's getting a pump too as well, just a small pump. Compound getting a small little pump. And what was the other one I was looking at, guys? Luna. Small little pump. Luna's testing hourly resistance right there. It's testing it right now. Right now. Yeah, looks good on the daily. it looks like you're getting ready to get a close above 8.0955. That would be daily resistance. So it looks fantastic. Meanwhile, BTC is doing end of week shenanigans. Yep, Elias Bargy, you nailed it, my friend. That's all it is. It is end of week shenanigans. You're right at the close. Right at the close. So I've literally watched price. Like, I'd be looking for an entry on the hourly, watching the 5-minute, and maybe the range was choppy on the day. This happened like 4 or 5 weeks ago, or maybe 2 months ago now at this time. I was watching pound USD, and there was 2 minutes left on the hourly close, and it was trading well below the hourly close, and within 2 minutes, that thing shot all the way up to the exact level of support that I was watching and closed above it. So upon seeing that, I took the entry. Turned out to be a fantastic scalp to the long side. But I was just looking for an intraday range expansion. Thank you, Janet Swift, for the thumbs up. It's appreciated. XLM says top dog killer. Let's go look at it. XLM USD. Stellar on Coinbase. It's looking like really droopy, man. Really droopy. You're testing daily support. Where's your weekly support? Oh, you're not. You're below weekly support. Unfortunately, since there's no choppy sideways price action here on Stellar, it's trend continuation, right? There's only 3 kinds of candles: inside candles, outside candles, and trending candles. Once you put in this inside candle and this inside candle, you put in this trending candle. Then this trending candle, then this trending candle. Now you have put in an inside candle. So, have we found a low? We will see. We will see. I don't like the fact that you took out your inside weekly candles range from last week, this week. But that's going to be your weekly support level. Next weekly support level is down here. And that's just simply old resistance, right? That bullish close, there's your breakout. You never retested it, but on this push lower, you got close enough to consider that a test. We shall see if the daily holds support, right? There's not much to look at on the weekly. And for the last 3 days, it's literally done nothing. Absolutely nothing. Don't I have Stellar over here? No, I do not. Why do I not have Stellar? I know where I have it, though. Let's go down here. I'm just curious to see what kind of a percentage move it's had on the day. I don't see it here either. I'm probably looking at it and just driving right by it. Man, I know I had it on one of these things. No, I don't have it. So anyways, it's a small percentage gain on the day. You're trading inside of yesterday. Here's yesterday's candle. There's your entire range, high, low. This is inside. So needs a breakout to the upside or to the downside. You did come in and check this bullish candle as resistance, and it did hold, and you did close red yesterday. So if you can at least get a higher close than this day's candle, then that's good, right? You may come back in and check this daily support level, and that might be a small entry, looking for just a small push up into your next resistance level. I know you rarely look for patterns, but wouldn't that be a head and shoulders on XAU 1 hour time frame? Yeah, it would be. Let's go look at it. I didn't see it exactly, but XAU you said, right? On the 1 hour. Is it inverse? Let's go look. If you're going to look at patterns, I'm just going to make a suggestion. I suggest you do it on a bigger time frame. If you're calling this the right or left shoulder, head, shoulder, yeah. I mean, this would be your neckline because it's an hourly. It's definitely kept price above it or below it, except for this push here. That's the only time you got to close below it or close above it. So technically, that might be the neckline. If you get down below it, just use this hourly support. When in doubt, just use the last support, right? Especially on a small time frame like an hourly. I don't really, you're testing this bullish candle. That's what you're testing, right? That's what you're testing. You did get a bearish engulfing on the hourly last week. So is it possible that you see some rejection and you trade lower? Yeah, absolutely. If dollar goes higher, this will probably go lower. But yeah, I guess you could call that a head and shoulders. Are you looking to take a short entry up here looking for that to play out? I wouldn't do that either. If you get a break above this resistance right here, you're probably going up here to take this stuff out at least. So if you do take it, make sure you get your stuff above that wick high. Hey Heath, could you look at Aussie USD? Absolutely, Brandon Lamb. I'm gonna look at whatever you guys want me to look at, as I am here for you. I think that's on the green list. Green list. So you're trading down. What is this level? See, I try to label these things not just for you guys, but for myself as well when looking at intraday time frames. So this was support there, broke below, traded right back above. So this is a bear trap, right? And it's already confirmed a bear trap. How is it already confirmed a bear trap? Well, this is a bullish outside range candle. You took out the low, boom. Then you took out the high, boom. And you closed above the open. So, are you looking for support test? Yep. You want to see that support test? 0.74736. You want to see that level hold on a daily closing basis. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If this thing closes back below, it is no longer a bear trap. It is bearish continuation. Next level of possible resistance, 0.75254. So, if we do get a push down into here tonight, and then the London sets in a low, and then we get back above that, finding support intraday during a New York session tomorrow morning, I might be taking this as a long too. Right? Maybe. We will see. It is in a downtrend. The bears are in firm control. You are putting in bullish divergence. All right? To be fair, there's bullish divergence right there. So, I mean, this is what tells me everything. This one candle. So let's see what happens. Asian session. I don't want to see it move up. I would love to see it move down instead, as that would be a little bit more confirmation a little bit more confirmation for me that I might be looking for long side setups first thing in the morning on Aussie dollar. So I will keep an eye on this thing for sure. Oh, and for full transparency, I am still short Aussie yen, still with 1/3 of my position from this push up. No, it's not that push up, is it? Let's go back into here. Yeah, it's this wick right here, this bullish push up. That's where I'm short from. Almost the very top of it. But I did take profits, so I only have 1/3 of the position left on it, and my stop is at break even. So if we do push up into 83,350, I will get stopped out of that position. All right. But yeah, if that plays out on Aussie USD, we may be looking. Ooh, there's an 8-hour right there. So, that brings up another thing, man. That right there basically kills looking for a long, at least up to here. Why? Because you got this level here. You've got to get an 8-hour closure above the opening price of that bullish candle, at least, before you can even test the resistance. And the resistance level is directly above you at 75086. So now that changes things just a little bit, don't it? Yes, it does. It does for me. 8-hour closure above this level, you're looking for longs, at least for the near term. I would probably only be targeting this wick high, which that would be my entry on Aussie yen. So I would probably be stopped out if it does get up there. So I don't mind taking a long if it sets up. Thank you, Heath, for the coin analysis. I picked some up at 227. Fantastic. Thank you, Heath. Says Top Dog Killer. You are welcome, my friend. Got you. Thanks, bro. You are welcome. Hi, Heath. Replay crew here. 12 a.m. Belgium time. Is there a potential bull flag on the BTC 8-hour chart? Let's go look. Oh, that's the M2 money supply. It will not let me look at anything lower than a daily on that. So let's get to spot. A potential bull flag. Wait a minute. What, like from here to here and then this is the flag and you're breaking out? It's a stretch. I mean, it's a stretch. I'm not a pattern trader, but I do respect those of you who are. But it's a stretch to say the very least. But look what I do see, right? I do see an 8-hour closure above 8-hour resistance. I do see a retest of that 8-hour resistance, seeing if it wanted to become support. It absolutely did. It tested all the way down to the opening price of that bullish candle. Would have been a fantastic opportunity to enter a long, and they will be taking profits just ahead of that 34,709 level. That is going to be resistance. Why is that even there? Now I'm confused. Didn't we just look at this chart? There. That's better. Right there. See, now my chart's all conglomerated and blocky. Too many lines. But yeah, I definitely want to see Bitcoin get above this resistance. I'm not really concerned about anything in this section of price. From 35,904 to 32,288, I don't really care because you're essentially in a range inside of a range inside of a range inside of a range at that point. I mean, here's your range. This is your range. That high to this low, that's your capitulation candle. You have already taken the low out, so you can move it over to here. There's your range. That's your bigger range. It's a lot more than $10,000, like a $15,000 range of price. So then you have another level here. Watch how these ranges get smaller and smaller. There is your resistance. Here is your support. And then, you can even go smaller. Resistance, support. See, you're in a range, in a range, in a range. So we shall see. It is lower highs. You're right, Pedram. Any swing high lower than $59,000 is just yet another lower high. It will be a higher high if you get up into here from this section of price, but in the long term, in the bigger view, it is still just another lower high. Yeah. So definitely want to see this thing get out of this range. At least the shorter term one. At least this one. Because this is boring. This isn't even tradable. Unless you can trade options. If you can trade options, then sell the puts at $31,000 and sell the calls at $40,000. But just a couple weeks out, nothing major. Oh, that's not trading advice. This is not financial advice, by the way. I'm just saying that's generally what professional traders do in ranging conditions. They just sell calls and puts on both sides of the range and just collect the premium. Because breakout traders and new traders are always buying premium, and that's not necessarily the best way to trade, especially in options, because 90% of options expire worthless. Keep that in mind. How do you understand RSI divergence? This is confusing because I'm a beginner. All right, that's an easy question. What asset was we looking at that divergence was very clear? It was this one. All right, so let me get rid of all these lines. Let me bring this beast up. Okay, so basically there are 4 kinds of divergence. You have bullish divergence, bearish divergence, hidden bullish divergence, and hidden bearish divergence. There is a website called babypips.com. They do not pay me in no way, shape, form, or fashion, if you want to go up there, just click in babypips.com, type in bullish bearish divergence, and it'll basically explain the definition for the technical term. But basically, when your RSI is putting in higher lows, so this would be a low, a swing low, and then this swing low is higher than this swing low, right? But on price, you're putting in lower lows. Here's your swing low on price. There's your lower swing low on price. So your indicator is basically showing you that momentum is possibly waning to the upside, meaning bears are backing off. Divergence doesn't always play out, all right? It's important to understand that too, but there's your divergence. Divergences come on the Stokes, MACD, you name it. If it's an oscillator, a momentum oscillator, people are looking for bearish and bullish divergences in order to take positions. The only reason I look at the RSI is to see where is it on the daily in reference to the 50 marker, the halfway point, because that will generally tell me if bears are in control of a market or bulls, right? I can pretty much look at price and see who is in control, but if you're newer, it helps. Don't use it that often, this thing. I do it basically to help you giving averages that often either. I'm definitely not taking positions based on either one of those indicators. I only take positions on what price is doing. But hopefully that helps. And then this is bullish divergence when it's going up and on the lows, right? And price is making lower lows, that's bullish divergence. And just flip it around and that would be bearish divergence. If price is making higher highs but the oscillator is making lower highs, that would be your bearish divergence. So there's divergence. It's there. It is present. But that move, even if it does play out, they don't have to go very far. Just a 50 check is enough to say that your divergence play has played out and you're no longer looking for entries based on divergence. Hopefully that helps. Let me see here. Where was I? There I was. And then Padram from mid-July, downtrend, lower lows, higher lows, bull flag, right? Some people are new, my friend. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. That's all I ask. Gary S., would you take a long on Aussie yen against your 1/3 remaining short? Well, first and foremost, it's impossible. You used to be able to do it until the first in, first out. The FIFA rule came in, and it came in full swing this year. Now your brokers, any U.S. regulated brokers, will automatically adjust your position for the new position you took. For instance, if I wanted to get long and it was with the exact same amount of units that I currently have on. All right, so that if I'm short one lot still and I wanted to get long one lot, it would just take me out of the trade. It just exits the position. Now, if I get long with 2 lots and I have 1 lot short, then what it will do is it will close my short position, book those profits if there are any, and then substitute or take away from the initial 2 lot position that I entered. So instead of going into a long trade with 2 lots, I am now in a long trade with 1 at that cost basis, at the price at which I entered the trade. So now, yeah, you can't do it. You would have to do it on an opposite pair or do what I do and maybe get another brokerage account. I have another brokerage account, but you know, it's basically to hedge off positions like that. But those positions, I don't ever try to hedge a day trade or even a small swing trade. I will hedge a trade that I've had on for longer than 2 or 3 weeks. Then yes, I will try to hedge that position, especially if I'm looking at for like a longer term play. For instance, on pound USD the other day, I was long from May 7th, the NFP. No, yes, NFP, sorry. We had NFP here. So I got long down here. So when we were up here, all of this was unrealized P&L. So when I started to see a topping formation, I took a short on my other brokerage account, looking to hedge off that risk. Now I don't make any money if I'm hedging it with the exact same position size, But what I am doing is I am protecting those unrealized gains, right? Which it was a good call because price went down and stopped me out of that long position. So any unrealized P&L that I got through here on the short side trade was realized once that stop was taken out, right? But if you do that a lot, you're going to find that your P&L is not going anywhere, right? Because you're essentially shorting the asset and then longing the same asset on a different brokerage account. So it's like it's a double negative. It doesn't do anything. But I was looking for pound USD to continue long for a very long time. And if we stay trading below this quarterly level right here, I will look for a longer term short on pound USD. As I am an intraday scalper, I still want to catch those big trending moves. This is why my mouth salivates because I know we have a quarterly open right around the corner. And I love quarterly opens because sometimes you can get positioned, in fact, to catch the next quarterly range expansion, which would be fantastic. That's a big move, right? You can see that you are putting in higher opens for now. So this quarter is going to be vital for the next possible couple year, or at least 6 months to a year trade on pound USD. If we fail here, you can look for rejection and the trend continues. You get a quarterly break above and a close above. You can look for retests to get long, to get at least up into the 147, 150 area. S&P 500 had a divergence. Oh, wait a second. Oh, will DCA sideways, then wait for most important trend line in crypto? There you go. Guess we'll have to wait for the most. Yep. For any of you that are here and you are not subscribed to Jordan Lindsay's Conquering the Markets, what he is talking about is this trend line right here. If I can get Bitcoin pulled up, it's simply this from here to here. That's what he's looking at. But I believe he has cloned it. I'm not sure exactly where he has put it, but I'm sure it's somewhere. Something like that, maybe. So what they're looking at is this was just what they consider a false break. There's a break, there's a test and hold, test and hold. So far it's holding. Basically what he's trying to say is if you get above this swing high, you can look for this trend line to come into play. But yes, that's what he's calling the most important trend line in crypto. I like today, most of the day I spent doing, I spent digging up info on Tether, and to be honest with you, man, I don't like what I see with this thing. It's getting worse and worse and worse. There's a guy on YouTube, I can't remember his name, but I stumbled across one of his videos when I was doing the research. It was like coffee something coffee. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Bear with me. He has a fantastic video describing it and breaking it all down with absolute, well, what he calls proof. You know what I mean? I'm going to say it was a great video. It was a great watch. Let me pull up my history if I can find it. Right there it is. Give me 1 second, guys. Apologies. Coffee chill, coffee something. Oh, his name is CoffeeZilla. All right, so let me get this if I can find the actual video, because there's a bunch of them that I was watching. Not his, but this one. I'm going to drop that in the chat for anybody that is interested. It's a fantastic watch. And some of that stuff, what he says in there, coalesces with what I found as well. It's a fantastic watch. Let me exit this before it starts playing. All right. S&P 500 had a divergence. Let's go see where that divergence is. Yeah, I'm almost guaranteeing you that it's got a divergence because it's making higher highs. Generally, when an asset's making higher highs and higher lows, you will tend to run into divergence. This is a very long-term divergence. If you're looking from this swing high in price, which coincides with April the 15th to July the 2nd, That's a very long, yeah. So this one would have been better, and it was there, and it did play out. There's your divergence playing out. When I say playing out, what that essentially means is when you do have bearish divergence on your prices making higher highs, and then you get a big sharp sell-off, and the RSI goes back down to the 50 spot, as that's the midpoint. That is your RSI, your bearish divergence playing out. So once that happens, you can essentially reset the indicator, right? So from here to here, not really divergence going on. It's making higher highs on the RSI, and it's making higher lows or higher highs on the price. So I don't see any divergence since this divergence plays out, if that makes sense. I try not to talk too much about indicators because it can really trip up new traders. But yes, technically, there is divergence on the RSI from there to there. But it's already played out, in my opinion. In my opinion. It's happening in Bitcoin too. Oh no. Bullish divergence or bearish divergence? Like I said, guys, I don't put too much weight on divergences. I don't use them for trading. Here's a lower, here's a low, there's a higher low, got a higher low in the RSI, higher high in price, higher high in the RSI. Then you put in a low, put in a low, put in a lower high on price, lower high, lower low on the RSI from this point, lower low on price from this point. So I don't see any kind of divergence on Bitcoin right now. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. I can be, I have been, and will be in the future. But currently, I don't see any divergence on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's taxed in the 50 spot, so it's very important for bulls to get this thing broke up above 35. Otherwise, short sellers are going to look at that as a failure at the 50 test, and they're going to come in short swinging. Just swinging. Pedro, 3D MACD and Bitcoin just diverged. It also, I don't know what the 3D MACD is. I don't look at the MACD. Looks like it has its lowest level, still price action above it all. I will take your word for it, my friend. Sand USDT. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what is this thing? Sand USDT. Sand. The sandbox. Tether. Let's go look at it on KuCoin just because I have KuCoin. And so far, liking it pretty okay. Yeah, it's that's what I want to see Bitcoin do, but it's just not doing it. This doesn't have much data on KuCoin. Probably can't even put in 100 exponential moving average. It's got, yeah, it does, just barely. So yeah, it's not much data to go on. Let's go see if we can get more on Binance. Binance is it's been around a lot longer. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it looks good. Big strong move off the lows, and it's new lows. Here is your wick low. That was the bearish target. Once that bearish target was taken out with this push lower, that's where most professional short traders exited their positions. Probably some professional buyers bought up this position. Also, retail is probably buying it right now. I'm just kidding. That was a low blow. I'm sorry. I'm just joking. But yeah, it looks good. This is a big monster push. These last few days have been very strong indeed. There's your daily resistance right there. So until you get a daily closure above 0.50280, you have a failure. But nice strong move. I don't know if I can trade this on the futures side of KuCoin. I will check as soon as this stream is over, because you are 271% off the lows, which will correspond to, let me do this. Let me see if I can just trade this thing. Because, yeah, Bitcoin starts to fall lower, I'm definitely going to look to short something that's off 200% off its lows. What is this sand? SAND. Nope, I cannot trade it in the futures side of KuCoin. It's had a big, powerful move to the upside. This probably is more of a short squeeze than is legitimate buying. So what I mean by that, if you're new, is when you have an asset that's pretty much one-sided, you get a lot of people that are short, and they're looking to short every bullish candle. So every time you have a bullish candle, they're shorting it. And then you get this big giant push because it stops everybody out, and you get an influx of buying pressure because short sellers stops are consisting of buy orders, and that's why you get big massive candles like that. I don't know why this thing would just all of a sudden boom like that, other than just being a short squeeze. So be careful if you're looking for bullish entries on it. And if you want, you can do something like this. This is about the only time I will use a fib. So if you go from high to low, from swing high to swing low, you are just now testing the 50% retracement of this price leg to the downside. Now, if you do this, go from this swing high to there, you can see that you're finding resistance at the 618, which you will probably see an influx of selling come in roughly around this area. It has also got a nice daily level right there. So this is why you're seeing failure at the very least. It's not failure in the way of rejection. It's just failing to get above it on a daily closing basis after 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts. So yeah, you should see some more selling increase on this asset pretty soon. Just be careful. Thanks, Heath. Gotta go. Thank you for being here, Elias, and thank you for always supporting the channel, man. I really appreciate you, bro. And then you wanted Alice USDT. All right, Alice USDT. You didn't say which exchange, and there's only two, Binance or Uniswap. Wow. When I see stuff like this, man, it really makes me say, why did this thing have such a massive pump on its ICO? Since this is a coin, it's a coin offering. ICO opened at 20 cents, traded all the way up to $60 in one day. Is this the thing that killed Mark Cuban? No, I think that was something else. But this is pretty similar. What kind of a percentage gain is that in a day? Let's see. 844,976%. Wow. Then you had it can only be as much as 100% on your sell-off. So I don't even know what I was thinking there. Yeah, you came off almost 100%, right? There it is. That's your lowest low. 93.73%. This is not something I would mess with. This is what they call a pump and dump in the industry. As insiders are allowed to buy these tokens, and it's the same for stocks, right? Insiders are allowed to they're called preferred partners or something like that, right? So they're allowed to actually buy into the asset before the actual public announcement and the public open. So what it is you have a bunch of people buying it probably at a lot less than its opening price at 20 cents. They were probably buying it at 5 cents or 6 cents. And then they got an 800% or an 800,000% gain on their return. So obviously they sold it all as they just won the lottery. This is what causes a pump and dump. And this is why you're trading all the way next down to the lows. But this thing moves, man. Like really, really moves. What I mean is this is the low at $3 and up here is $7 and you've literally went nowhere. So you're 100% off the lows, 123% off the lows, 127 to the high of that candle. Very, very dangerous. Be very, very careful. Let's go see what kind of liquidity it has. It looks like it's got a ton of liquidity because these candles look good. So just be careful. Any technical things? Let's go see. Here is resistance, $7.77. that Heath level or that supply zone is still intact as well, right? You have not had a bullish close above that line since that bullish candle put in its daily range. So this is the first, when you get into this area, you're likely to see somewhat of a rejection, at least on the first chance. There's also a daily resistance right above it, and you can see that that wick has already pushed up into it, right? A flawless test, in fact. And you are seeing a little bit of a pullback. Why is that? Well, because it works sometimes, right? So these are your two areas of resistance. Would I buy this thing? No way, not me, no how, no way. That's insane. You know how many people got so hurt on that? The reason I would say, if I had to make a guess, the reason people are still buying it is because they want their 880,000% gain. They're like, wow, this thing has potential to go up 880,000%. I'm buying all in, baby, 100x leverage. So that way I can buy an island and maybe the USA also. So that's probably why people are still trading it. But I don't know. You took out this low, so until you get above this high, you're in a range. But this is kind of bullish price action. So this may be somewhat of a small little short squeeze as well. Once you got over this resistance level right there, you can see you got a little bit of continuation. Now you seem to be finding a little bit of resistance, but the fact that you're testing it again already is a little bit bullish, right? It is a lot more bullish than bearish. So there's a good chance you're going to break above this level. So just take that with a grain of salt. Wait, the chat just glitched out on me again. So, yeah. Thanks, Heath. Gotta run. Peace out. Thank you, Elias. Hi, Heath. Hello, Yvette. Yes, Tether concerns me too. Says, man, yeah, it's really I am a Bitcoin bull through and through. I didn't sell any of my Bitcoin position just because of the stuff that I'm reading into, looking at, doing my own little investigation. But at the same time, I'm not going to invest my life savings into it until the Tether issue gets fixed. Here, I still have this thing right here. This was part of my investigation. This is the U.S. Attorney General. This is her actual words. She said this in quotation, and this happened on February the 23rd. If you go back and look at Bitcoin on that corresponding date, you will see that that's about when everybody said the Wyckoff pattern came into play. But it's not the Wyckoff pattern, is it? Look at this. This is when that came out. This bearish candle right here. So this is when the news article broke. So let me ask you this, since we're in the financial markets. Do you think that some people, maybe a few, knew on February the 21st that this article was going to come out 2 days later? I would say, judging by this price action, the answer to that question is absolutely yes, 100%. Do I know who? No. But when they heard about that news, that she was going to come out and basically scorn them in public and say they lied and falsified data and they had to pay a fine because the accusations were true, boom, down. So this stuff here is just dragging retail in so big institutions can dump. And what did we get? You got a dump. Couple this with the China news, China banning Bitcoin, kicking the miners out, all that stuff. Put that together with the U.S. Attorney General saying that Tether is banned from doing business in the state of New York. This is what happened. It's just so, yeah. I love Bitcoin. I really want Tether to be transparent, but she basically said that they lied. Attorney General continue. Oh, this is the beginning. So right here, Finex recklessly and unlawfully covered up a massive financial loss. Are you asking how big that massive financial loss was? $850 million. So they lied about it to protect their bottom lines, to keep their company going. Make no mistake, Tether is called a cryptocurrency, but it is a company. Tether Limited is the company that prints these Tether tokens. It's a company. It can fail, right? So yeah, and then here's Tether transparency. This thing is new. I'm assuming total assets supposed to be under management is $62 billion. Then a quick Google search, you will find Tether has only 15 employees. So you mean to tell me that 15 employees have $62 billion under management? Wow. Just become a Tether employee and you will have more money under management than most of the top hedge fund managers in the state of New York. It's a little sketchy, so I'm going to do a lot more digging and see if I can get to the bottom of this. But it's always been like that, man. I mean, it's the Wild West. Crypto's the Wild West. KuCoin does have 10 average on it, says Synoptic Trader. I can only get 5x because I'm in America. I didn't do the KYC. It says I guess I could probably get higher if I did that, but there's no point. It's a small amount of money for now. I'm just testing liquidity. I'm checking withdrawals. I'm doing everything I need to do to make sure before I put a large amount of money on that account or that platform that it can support withdrawals on a frequent and regular basis. Because I like to take profits and keep them. You are welcome, Gary. You retracted your message, so I don't know what you're thanking me for, but you're welcome. Actually, I'm more confused with hidden and actual RSI divergence. Yeah, Neith Kumar, just type in your Google search bar and put baby pips / divergence, and it will have all the learning material you need to get familiarized with what divergence is. Next, thanks man, thanks for the stream, Heath. You're welcome, Wes. Can you please look at Storage USD nope, just USD. Let's go look at it. STORJ USD. Binance US, Coinbase. It's on Coinbase, so it has to be legit, right? Yeah, it's found a low. It's trading higher, but it's you have a close above resistance. There's resistance. Let me get it right where it needs to be. Nice big strong break above, close above resistance. Now, is this a trap? Because you're getting close to taking out the low of this candle. This is where I would get concerned, right? This is demand down here. This daily candle, that's your last bearish candle before you had bullish price action. So as long as you're not closing a daily candle below 0.8444, then you may possibly be finding support here and you may possibly be looking for higher prices. On the event that you get a daily closure below that level, I would not be looking to buy it, as that would be more indicative of a bull trap. And in a downtrend pops in price, this is a pop in price. It got sold into. This is a pop in price. It got sold into. This is a pop in price. So generally in downtrends, assets, when they have pops in price, they generally get sold into until you have a long accumulation phase and then you break out of that, right? So similar to like what would be considered as a bear market phase low, market cycle, something like that. Bitcoin hasn't had a long enough consolidation phase to be considered a bear market low consolidation or even a bear market, in my opinion. Not yet. And Bitcoin is the tide that lifts all boats. So if Bitcoin goes up, most crypto assets are going to go up. If Bitcoin goes down, most crypto assets are going to go down. Oh, there was something else real quick. Where's that at? Also, I found something interesting. It doesn't mean anything, but it's just interesting. Bitcoin. No, it was on a BLX index. Marked it out on a BLX. Let's go over here real quick. There was a time when Finex, because everybody knows people that own Tether also own Finex. That came out with, what's the name of that paper? damn it, I can't remember the name of the paper, but it came out and basically proved that as such. And then one of the founders of Tether came out and basically said, yeah, we're the same company. We're the same guys. So they needed to show that they had $300 million in the bank, right? So what they did was basically they had Finex liquidate $300 million worth of Bitcoin. So here you go. There's your liquidation of $300 million worth of Bitcoin. Then they put the money in the bank account, took a picture of it, and then sent it to someone and was like, look, see, I told you I have $300 million in the bank account. There, thank you. Leave me alone now. And then the very next day, they took that $300 million back out of the bank, reinserted it back into Bitcoin, and that set off the 2017 bullish market phase that took price all the way up to 20K. Why? Well, $300 million worth of Bitcoin being bought and being bought up aggressively causes FOMO. Other firms jump in, retail jumps in, everybody's getting long, and then boom, there's your bullish market phase of 2017, all brought on by, Tether and Finex. But this was what was interesting, right, to me. That low that was put in when they liquidated $300 million worth of Bitcoin, if you scroll over here to current price, well, your bear market low of 18, 19? Look at that. That's your bear market low. That's fantastically weird, to say the least. That was that support put in on that $300 million. And when price traded back down into that price level, that was the bear market low for Bitcoin. Even when you had the financial crisis of 2020 in March, you still did not come down and test that 32.42 level. Once you tested that, that was the end of the run. Then you've just been bullish ever since. Massively bullish. Tether's a massive liquidity provider in Bitcoin. Massive. Heath, did Tether not recently pay a big fine like a couple months ago? Yeah, it was like $12 million. And it was because of this article right there. It says that it's locked. If you guys want me to, I can share this article in the chat for you if you want it. Yeah, it's this article right here. Where did I read it? It was a couple $1 million. Couple $1 million. Someone just alerted me. Let me see what's going on. Maybe someone doesn't know I'm in. Oh, yeah. Alright, so yeah, that's that. Yeah, they had to pay a couple $1 million. I can't remember the exact number, but I don't think it was higher than 10 million. Which isn't nothing to someone who has $62 billion under asset and has the ability to print their own money. Thanks for the session. It's fantastic. Yep, okay, and there I am. The old saying goes, I was wrong once, but now that I think about it, I am mistaken. The old saying goes, I was wrong once, but now that I think about it, I am mistaken. I like it. Also, USDC's company will go public soon. Who cares about Tether? As long as the USDC, whoever the company is that is in charge of the USDC stablecoin, as long as they can be transparent and show people, real people, SEC type people, that their books are legitimately good, that their stablecoin is legitimately pegged to the dollar, meaning if you are putting, say, 40 million tokens of your stablecoin out into the open market, you better have 40 million US dollars in a bank account to prove that you do have the liquidity. As long as they keep that liquidity 1-to-1. See, the thing with Tether is also when you buy Tether, say one Tether equals $1, when you buy it and then you sell it back to Tether for whatever reason, they're supposed to burn that one. Like, it's supposed to be burnt, taken out of existence to control and maintain the peg. Well, now Tether's just basically printing random Tethers. I can't remember how much, but the Tether liquidity is like as big as Bitcoin's move up. So it almost looks like Tether is responsible for the Bitcoin price action. It's scary if you think about it, especially for people that have their entire life savings in these assets because they think they're safe. I'm not bearish on Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's the future, and I will always buy it. Always. But right now, it's a little bit risky with everything going on. That's all I'm trying to say. 5 to 10K too small to get into Forex? No, absolutely not. Hey, Farron, you can open an account in a Forex broker with $100. Yeah, small account. $10, I think. In some cases, you can open up a Forex account. Healthy and loved pound USD outlook, please. I did look at pound USD at the beginning of the stream, and the stream is meandering along. So let me go look at it real quick, and then I will probably end it there. So what I'm watching for on pound USD, my friend, is we have a quarterly level right there at 140 spot 152. Once we took that quarterly level out to the downside, we came in close enough as a retest and then pushed lower, taking out support, putting new lows into this stretch of price. So yes, Friday was a big, strong, bullish day. We have a level of possible resistance at 139.489, which is simply, the opening price of this bullish candle, right? We're going to be watching that price to see if we find rejection there. If not, and we get higher, we're going to be looking for 140, 152, as that is your quarterly. That's a very important quarterly resistance level. If I go into the quarterly chart, you can specifically see right here that you have attempted to get above that quarterly level for the last 2 quarters. And you have been unable to close above that. And then I can do you one even better. If you throw this chart on log and drop a trend line from that high to that high, you can also see, now this only works on log. If I take it off log, you can see that you already broke above that and you're trying to move higher. But this is what's holding you down, right? That's for sure what's holding you down is that quarterly resistance. But back on log, you can see this trend line is also acting as resistance along with that level right there. So I think a big trade is incoming on pound USD, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. I will let you know. All right. We still got to give it a little bit of time. It's still got some time, right? And that's what I'm waiting on. Waiting for this thing to show me what it wants to do. Because I would love to be at the bottom end of a quarterly range expansion to the upside or the top end of a quarterly range expansion to the downside. That's a 3-month trade. Man says smash the like, guys. Yes, please, if you don't mind, smash them up. And then Pedro, most European Asian customers buy Binance USD. In my opinion, even with Tether gone, we do have more options, but can cause some FUD again. Yeah, I'm not trying to spread FUD at all. At all. My goal on this channel is to get new traders at least looking the right way at technical analysis. I am not a FUDster. I don't care about news. I don't care about FUD, any of that stuff, right? I only care about price and price alone. But at the same time, information like that is important. And the reason it's important is because Tether its company is the main liquidity provider for Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that's what makes it important. Also, they have $62 billion of your, mine, and everybody else's money that if they decide to run tomorrow, they can. Right? Last person that had that much money under his control of other people's money was Bernie Madoff. And you've seen what happened to him. And just because the AG wasn't able to prosecute Tether does not mean that they're still not looking into it. So, yeah, I'm not trying to spread FUD at all. I'm still long Bitcoin, and I'm going to control or maintain to be long and buy red weeklies because I think it's the future. But we definitely got to get Tether in check. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. Like I said, if you are new, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And I will do my best to teach you how to look at charts the right way. I always have to say thank you so much to my Patreons and channel members. Thank you so much. It means the world to me, the fact that you would support me the way that you do. I really appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you. The next stream that I will be doing will be Tuesday morning, bright and early before the New York session. I do those twice a week in the middle of the week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, basically to show you what I'm looking at for potential day trades for the New York Open. That will be the next time that you guys can catch me live. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you trade safe, trade smart, and yeah, let me go look at DXY for that real quick, and then I will say goodbye. Real quick, I seen it come in, and they said please. So what kind of a person would I be if I didn't comply? Dixie is having trouble at 92.81. This is the level at which it has found resistance. This was your support level down here at $92.23. You can see Friday, you got a daily closure below that support level, which indicates that you may be looking for a continuation of bearishness to the downside, at least probably to 91.88. This level down here, even this bearish candle may come into play. You do have a wick low right there, so if you will get bullish continuation, you may get a stab below that wick low and then a reversal. Either way, you need to get a daily closure above 92.238 if you're looking for bullish entries on the dollar, and you will have resistance again once you get up there. For bearish